What is going on, everybody? It's the Frost, and we're back again for an NXT review for June 13, 2018. Man, oh man, NXT knows how to put on the last good show before we get to NXT Takeover, because that match, if you do not watch anything this week, Kyle O'Reilly, Pete Dunne, great match. Great NXT match. But if they were given another 5-10 minutes on an NXT show or anywhere else, I wouldn't have been mad. These two beat the holy hell out of each other. This was a great match. I couldn't take any notes. It was just that good of a match. It's definitely one of those you need to go out and see. And that was pretty much the highlight, the biggest highlight of the show. I mean, this was NXT. It always has great highlights in each show. Not a bad show overall at all. There was nothing that was really there was nothing bad, but we had the War Raiders in action, Cassius Ohno versus EC3. We had Bianca Belair in action. We had that huge United Kingdom title match, which was amazing. And of course, Aleister Black and Lars Sullivan pretty much have a little face-off. And before we get to NXT Takeover Chicago, they did highlight Shayna Baszler and Nikki Cross, and of course Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa, because those four individuals were not at taping tonight. Obviously, you could just tell when we got to that takeover, that takeover-esque match. That match could have went on a takeover. You could tell this match that was happening tonight was taped on a second night, because this crowd was hot and wild for that entirety of that match. It was a great match. We'll get to it later. We had War Raiders versus Justin Storm and Ricky Martinez. Not much you have to say about this. Justin Storm and Ricky Martinez pretty much get utterly destroyed. Winners were the War Raiders. It's after the match, though. The War Raiders both grabbed the mics, and I think it was Hanson. I can't remember which one's which. But like Hanson or whatever, they call themselves the Mighty. We'll show you Mighty. And then they hit Justin Storm with a pop-up power slam. So it was made official that next week on the Aftermath show, which is always a show, which of course, if anyone remembers, New Orleans was where the War Raiders made their debut for NXT in a wrestler capacity. They will be facing the Mighty. TM61 is no more. They are now the Mighty. So we'll see where that goes, but I expect to see a good match between Hanson Moe and Shane Thorne and Nick Miller. It should be a great match. The Mighty versus War Raiders will be next week. And highlight Ciampa versus Gargano, which was a pretty decent promo. Those promo packages are pretty good. They highlighted everything from Chicago last year till what happened at Takeover New Orleans, what happened at Takeover Philadelphia, everything in between. For the most part, you just saw Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa just sitting in chairs and just, I guess, he must have like a monitor in front of them to see what happened. They also put this was really nice, because I didn't see this on YouTube or anything. I didn't check it. But they did, when they got closer to when the contracts were given, they showed a clip of Candice LeRae seeing the contract and be like, she's done with this, and she walks off pissed as fuck that you're going to go through with this. So they didn't show that when the contracts were given, but it was nice to see that, because it added that little bit of a wrinkle. Johnny Gargano was pissed that Tommaso Ciampa brought Candice LeRae into this. Of course, Tommaso Ciampa says, you heard her, you brought her into this, you have to live with that. This is going to be a great match. You don't need, if you are not hyped for NXT TakeOver Chicago, I don't know what you're doing watching NXT. I don't know what you're doing, because this is going to be a great match. They have a lot of competition with Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada's 2 out of 3 falls match, which is pretty much match of the century. It was a great match, but this one I could see being match of the year, and I could see them for WWE and them outdoing themselves in NXT TakeOver New Orleans. EC3 versus Cassius Ohno, a little shoving before the match. Ohno just shoves EC3 down as the bell rings, and he tosses EC3 around, doing chants from the crowd. Nice chops to EC3's chest, back to the ring, and some more chops from Ohno. EC3 sends Ohno into the corner, who runs through EC3 out of the corner. Senton splash, blocked by EC3, then a TKO type thing. Now stomps in the corner on now EC3 in control, laying in chops in the corner, then a snapmare and rolling neck snap. Now he gets a nerve hold onto Ohno, which is that like you take your hand and you like grasp around the shoulder blade. It's like that's probably a really nasty hold. EC3 goes for a kick and Ono catches it and just hits a jumping knee, then some stiff shots, then a cyclone kick, followed by 2 running sentons in the ring. EC3 rolls to the outside. Cassius Ono follows him around and hits another running senton for good measure. Sent back inside, EC3 runs. Cassius Ono had EC3 in front of him. EC3 runs Ono into his throat into the top rope. Hits the 1%. 1, 2, 3. That's that. Bianca Belair versus Aaliyah. Why does Aaliyah look like a lost Bella twin? She really did in this match. It was just really weird. Forearm by Belair, and Aaliyah looks like a lost puppy. Aaliyah's like having this, like she's like all confident. As soon as she gets hit with that forearm by Belair, she sits down and she's like, "Oh shit, what the hell am I doing here?" Tries to sneak under Belair, that don't work, and Belair runs her over. Beautiful backflip by Belair out of the corner. Like she is just so athletic and good at what she does. She is going to be a big deal in NXT. Who runs Aaliyah in the corner? Aaliyah is screaming like a crazy in a guillotine, but Belair escapes with a suplex, then a standing frog splash, then to the back of Aaliyah. Belair decides to deadlift like she did to Kairi Sane a couple weeks ago, to Candice LeRae a couple weeks ago, and just military presses her. Aaliyah with the snake eyes puts her in the torture rack, tosses her over, and looks like a reverse Falcon Arrow for the 3 count. I will say, Belair using this finisher way better than what she did with the alley-oop. Winner is Bianca Belair. Now they highlight Shayna Baszler versus Nikki Cross. In the back we have Dakota Kai. She's asked about the last match. Kai says she was seconds away from being the NXT champion, but the next time will be different. I will become the new champion. Bianca Belair comes in and says she's the best, and Kai says, you talk a big game. Let's see how your game is next week. Bianca Belair is like, I like that, but you won't. So we're going to have 2 matches, which usually we don't know who, like, usually on the off chance we don't see them made this far in advance. They usually just give them to us. But we have Bianca Belair versus Dakota Kai, which is going to probably be a pretty good match. And, of course, the War Raiders versus the Mighty on the Aftermath show, which most people don't like to watch the Aftermath show. I always do, and I always review them because I want to see how the matches we get are going to be. Pete Dunne versus Kyle O'Reilly. This match, I can't even begin to tell you how good this match was. This, by far, is a match to see. Dunne's leg was wrapped from last week's attack when Kyle O'Reilly took the belt to the back of his leg. Crowd is white hot for this match. Like, you could just tell that last week the crowd sounded dead. They sounded like they were dead and ready to go home after hours and hours of watching wrestling. But in this match, you could just hear from the start, you have Bruiserweight chants, you have Pete Dunne, Kyle O'Reilly chants, you have Undisputed, Bruiserweight. This match was just crazy. I could not, for the life of me, get notes for this thing, like, so I could just read and, like, go off this match, because they were fast and heavy. You had joint manipulation, you had massive kicks, punches, they were chopping the hell out of each other. These two probably had to wake up with ice packs on them, like, go to sleep with ice packs on them, because these two beat the holy hell out of each other. This match is worth seeing. Pete Dunne does win with the bitter end at the end after he does a finger snap to Kyle O'Reilly. And honestly, I was surprised that I'm glad they didn't do it because it makes the match even feel a lot more special. Because I figured we're going to just have Undisputed come in, cause a DQ, but no. Clean finish, clean win by Pete Dunne for the 1, 2, 3. What a fucking match this was. If you do want to see something on the WWE Network, this is the match to go see. This match was just fucking amazing. Then you had Adam Cole and Roderick Strong come down to beat down on Pete Dunne until Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch make the save. The champs and Oney Lorcan eventually, Pete Dunne and Adam Cole start fighting to the back. So maybe between now and Takeover, we'll get another match with these two, one-on-one, non-title. Because as of right now, we still don't have Adam Cole in a match at Takeover. But I could see them having Adam Cole and Pete Dunne at Takeover. And of course, 2 nights later, they're going to be wrestling each other in Strong Style Collective versus the Undisputed Era. The champs, the tag team champions, and Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch stare down, and then they come to blows. Strong and O'Reilly is sent packing from their challenges. What that tells me is, and I'll talk about this tomorrow, Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong are going to win and retain their titles. It just makes sense, especially with 2 nights later they're going to be facing off against Pete Dunne and Strong and the Mustache Mountain, also known as Strong Style Collective. Aleister Black comes out and says, Lars Sullivan thinks he got my number. Lars caught my strike, the one strike I used to take everyone down. That rattled me. But he will feel the full force of Black Mass and Chicago. He will soon realize he will simply fade to black. Lars Sullivan makes his way out here. He's ready, and Aleister Black is getting ready for him, taking his jacket off, putting the title off to the side. Sullivan charges the ring, and they come to blows. Black had the advantage before a lariat leads to a freak accident as the crowd boos Sullivan. Black looks to get back up, but another freak accident by Lars Sullivan. Lars picks up Black again and hits another freak accident on Black. Lars tosses the title, drags Black out of the ring, grabs Black and the title, drags Black over to the out of the ring and takes him over to the announce table, puts him on the announce table, gets up there, says, "This is your reality at Takeover, Chicago." Lifts up the title, and NXT is over. So, what does that tell you about that? When Aleister Black faced Andronicus Almas, what did Andronicus Almas do the last time before they met at Takeover Chicago? Not Chicago, but New Orleans. Beat the hell out of him, dunked his head into an ice thing, and that was that. Well, I'm saying it right now, and I'll probably go more detail on this on tomorrow. Aleister Black is not losing to Lars Sullivan. It's just not happening. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the NXT show, but I'm pretty sure it's not. It's over. It's not. I'm not going to say it's overly predictable, but and predictable is not always a bad thing. For me, knowing the winner of the match does not usually matter to me. If I know that Lars Sullivan is going to lose, I don't care. If I know that Undisputed Era is going to retain, I don't care. As long as the match is good. You tell me a good story from point A to point B, and I will be happy. Plain and simple. I'm just so tired about WWE is that that it becomes predictable, but the matches aren't any good. This is what NXT is always so great. Because, yes, we knew that Shayna Baszler was going to beat Ember Moon at NXT TakeOver New Orleans, and Aleister Black was going to win the NXT Championship at TakeOver New Orleans. I was fine with that because that was obvious. The difference was those matches were good to great. It doesn't matter. To me, it doesn't really matter about predictability. Like Roman Reigns coming to face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Everybody picked Brock Lesnar to lose that match. That wasn't the part that bothered me. It was the fact that match was so goddamn boring. That match was so goddamn boring and pathetic. And now we have Roman Reigns versus Jinder Mahal coming up at Money in the Bank, which will be a boring-ass match because Roman Reigns is terrible. He's not a ringleader, and neither is Jinder Mahal. That match is going to be shit. 110% shit. So, when you come out of this weekend talking about any matches, you're going to be talking about everything from NXT TakeOver Chicago. Money in the Bank is going to just be an afterthought. You have Gargano versus Ciampa 2, which technically it's Ciampa 3 if you want to count the Cruiserweight Classic, but let's not count that. You have Black versus Lars Sullivan. You have Nikki Cross versus Shayna Baszler, which is probably going to be a very good match. Do not sleep on that match. We have the Tag Team Championship match when we're looking at Danny Burch versus the Undisputed Era, which I think is the weakest of the matches that we have. And we have Ricochet versus the Velveteen Dream. What more could you want? 2 hours and a half this show will go at least. If they add Adam Cole versus Pete Dunne in a non-title match, which I would not mind, what else can you ask for? But I know that's not, I usually go a little bit longer, but that is your NXT review. I will be doing an NXT TakeOver Chicago review for tomorrow. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like this button, find me on Twitter at TheFrance, find me on twitch.tv/TheFrance08, and I will see you guys tomorrow. My name is TheFrance, and I will see you guys later.